6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAUUSD, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.
Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. What is up, Raphael? Hope you're doing good. Dollar CAD, Euro. We'll take a look at them in detail. I want to go through the USD side of things to start things off. I'll take a look at the dollar USD major, so I'll go through those pairs and opportunities on them. Tashi, good morning. Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. What's up, Francis? Hope you're doing good. Follow the trend. What's up, my man? I hope you are doing good. So yeah, guys, we'll jump straight into it. I do have a couple positions I do have running, so we'll go through that as well. But we'll take a look at the dollar first, and we'll look at that shortly afterwards, and I'll do a quick recap. But of course, any requests, any pairs you're looking at, any trades you're in, anything you want to share, drop it in the chat, and we'll be happy to discuss. But yeah, we've had some momentum to the downside here. Dollar's looking pretty weak since we last spoke. I believe price was trading around here yesterday on stream, and since then we've had a bit more downside. Now, I am still looking at buys on the dollar. I'm still very much looking to short pound, short Aussie dollar. Those are my main plays on the USD pairs right now. And I did say coming to the week, this is the area I want price to retrace into, and we are currently seeing that. So this is where I'm looking to do my business. This is where I'm looking to really pay attention to what price is giving us in these areas, and if things look good, I will be looking at longs back to the highs here and maybe a lot further as well. The reason why I wasn't so interested about buying the dollar up at these prices is because we're approaching supply, approaching areas where a lower high could form, or at least if it is going to form, a likely place where it would form. You can see prior swing highs there. You know, that would be a place roughly where another one could form. So I don't really want to be buying into that, especially if I'm looking for a swing trade. I want price to come back into support, back into areas of demand where it makes a lot more sense to try and look for that swing. So that's currently what we're seeing at the moment. So now I'm a bit more focused on the price for dollar. It's still not ready yet, still early. We just got there. I need price to kind of find support, manipulate a low, and then I'll be looking for some longs in this kind of manner, basically trying to catch the next higher low in this sequence here. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm envisioning. So for my best guess, we're probably still maybe a day or two away from a decent opportunity to buy the dollar, at least according to the plan I'm looking at and how I look to try and take my long positions on a pullback. There's still probably about 24, 48 hours. So probably you might be looking to early Monday for some nice longs on the dollar, or around that time as well. So I'm not looking to jump into anything yet, but we are approaching some healthy areas, and I like the way we've got there as well. It's not too aggressive. It's not like price just bled aggressively. It's somewhat corrective, at least compared to this bullish leg here. So yeah, paying attention on the dollar now, looking for some buys, but again, might still take a day or two before I actually get some entries. If we flip that to euro, pretty much the exact same analysis, but in the opposite direction. So again, we do have this uptrend, which we have to show respect to and can't really be too aggressive against, which is why, as price came back to this area, I was very cautious about jumping into any shorts in euro. I do want to see a bit more of a pullback, and that's currently what we're seeing. So as price comes into this area, same with the dollar, this is where I'm interested in some shorting opportunities to see if we can find the next lower high and take price lower. There's your first high, there's your second, there's your third. Can we possibly find the fourth? Potentially take us back to lows, maybe further as well, but at least the push there is what I'll be looking for. So I am interested in shorts for euro, not as much as pound USD and Aussie dollar. Those are my two favored USD pairs for now, but of course they're all USD pairs. They're all roughly going to do the same thing. If pound's going to fall, probably euro's going to fall as well, because they're both kind of really relying on USD being strong. So I would expect that move to happen for euro as well, but again, way too early to be jumping into anything. We just had this move, a very aggressive double bottom from, not yesterday, the day before, and price just got and broke structure pretty well there. So if anything, there might be some intraday long opportunities to take euro a little bit higher. If I drop to like a, let's say 50-minute time frame, actually no, let me drop to a 30-minute. So yeah, we could see price potentially come back, retest prior resistance, turn support, and see this sort of pullback opportunity happen. Because I do think price is still likely to see a bit more upside. I don't think we're quite ready to be looking to see some downside yet. So I am looking at a little bit more upside for Euro USD. And again, maybe in the next 1 or 2 days or 3, we might see some better opportunities to actually short this one and catch some swings. So just being patient, really. Nothing's there yet. We're approaching some really nice, interesting areas where a lower high could form. As price continues these prior highs here, we very much could form another one. But it's too early to jump into short. So, Raphael, answering your question about euro shorts, yeah, I don't think it's quite ready to be shorted yet. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you if price. I can only take a short which I think is ready. But even that, I could still take a loss, of course. But judging from price action, how we're behaving, I would wait for some more development, some more time before looking to short. Because you think about it, a lot of people are kind of seeing the same idea. And a lot of people are going to be jumping into shorts because of that. I want to be a little bit later than the crowd. So whilst the crowd potentially gets stopped out, that's when I'm looking to enter on average. So yeah, I want euro to develop a little bit more before I do jump short. Pound USD, probably my favorite USD pair for an opportunity. Looking for some shorts, of course, still currently bullish right now. So again, being super patient before jumping into anything. We're actually looking quite aggressively bullish the past couple of days, actually. So it's actually looking quite interesting. But I'm still very much expecting a push back to the low here for pound. That's still very much my target, back to 1.32, 1.315. That's where I do see pound USD ending up in the next few days. We're having a pullback into this area of supply, which gave us this last bearish move. So this is going to be a very crucial point now for pound USD. I do want to see us respect this. If we break through, I won't instantly turn bullish. I think also some shorts up here could look interesting as well. But that would be low probability. This would be high probability. Price can respect that. Then yeah, I would think there's a very high chance we do end up back at these lows here. So I do want price to respect that. If we do break to the upside, like I said, I won't turn bullish instantly, but I'll be a lot more cautious with that bias. So yeah, pound USD coming back into a nice zone of supply. Can we respect this? Can we turn around? I do think there's a good chance we do, but too early to say. I drop intraday, I'm still seeing momentum, I'm still seeing higher highs and higher lows. If anything, there was a nice intraday long opportunity this morning, which gave a really nice swing there, back to highs. So at the moment, if you're intraday, you're probably just focusing on buying pound USD right now. From more swing bias, you're looking at shorts to try and continue these lower highs here. But as I reiterate, I don't think the market is quite ready for the shorts yet. So being very patient with pound, but that's the zone I've got my eyes peeled upon. Now I'm just going to wait to see how price does react, how price maneuvers in this area. Do you start to slow down? Do we start to find some wicks? Is some bearish engulfing candles coming into play? Or are we breaking through? Those are the type of things I'll be looking to study. And if we get some entries, great. I'll be looking to swing it to 1.315 roughly. In terms of dollar CAD, this one again has been super bullish, but I'm not really interested in buying it anymore. Possibly we still do have a bit more upside. We've seen a lot of momentum, but as prices swept the highs here, I'm not so interested in buying the market all the way up here. Yes, we could still go higher, and if you're going to trade it, I would scale right down to a low time frame to trade this so you can be in and out. But what I'm looking for dollar CAD would be a much bigger pullback. And then these are the opportunities I'm looking to buy to trade it back to highs and so on and so forth. as we approach some areas of supply on our left here, not really the level which I want to be buying into. Unless, again, you're very intraday, you can be in and out and take your profit quickly. If you're looking for that bigger swing, you do want price to come against momentum first. So that bigger pullback, again, could take a week or two to develop. Not really a pair I'm focusing on too much. There's no real opportunity for me. But yeah, I am leaning towards a bullish bias here. But this is something I want to see form over the next couple of weeks if I'm going to find some trades. I think intraday you can get away with some short-term buys if I drop to the 15. Actually, if I drop to like an hourly. I do quite like how we're reacting here. This looks really corrective, so I am getting an impression that this is likely a pullback. It looks like price is respecting prior resistance now turned support. Perhaps we're just having a bit of a correction before we do have that next leg. So I can see that intraday sort of opportunity, but I wouldn't look for anything more than that. The market's a bit too stretched, a bit too high up for me to be looking for any big moves there for dollar CAD. As for Aussie dollar, another USD pair I really like actually, and I'm keeping a very close eye on this one. Similar to pound USD, I'm looking to see if we can get some shorts back into this low here. I do think possibly we could go a lot further. If I zoom out on the weekly chart, you can see we have been super corrective, and we're kind of in an area where a lower high could form, and we could see price going to attack lows again. So there's a lot of room to the downside in my opinion here for Aussie. But for now, we'll just talk about the next key level, the next big support level, which would be this zone here, and that could make for a really healthy target. But of course, we need some entries. How do we trade this? Well, I did say at the beginning of the week, I really do like this area here. Brief pause in the market, very big bearish candle from that zone. So I'm looking at that area as a big supply zone, and I'm looking at these as some minor weaker highs that price might want to go and take out, test that zone, and then we might find some opportunities to short the market. This is our previous swing high, which gave us this low. Now I'm looking at the next one. If I whip out the fib, you can see we got the 0.5, 0.618 in that area. 9 times out of 10, it's a healthy place to be shorting from. So that's more or less what I'm looking at. Price taking out some of these weaker highs, tapping into that supply zone, and that's when I'll start to really study price, wicks, bearish engulfing candles, and yeah, if I can find some entries, take it into that low and that low there as well. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing on Aussie dollar, but again, probably still maybe a day or two away, or 3, from actually giving some entries. So just being on the back foot a little bit, letting price, back foot's probably not the right word, being on the sidelines a little bit, just letting price do its thing, but not looking to jump straight into any shorts just yet. New Zealand dollar, same outlook as well. Extremely bearish on the higher time frame, so the bias is really bearish with this one. Naturally just looking for pullbacks and more downside. I did suggest this will be a healthy place for a pullback. I would love to find a lower high in that area, swing it back to prior lows, and maybe further as well. But of course, we're not trading in any area of that nature. You can see as price keeps sweeping through these lows, we do tend to have some pullback. So we've swept another low. Price is probably going to have another pullback, or at least that's just not an area which I want to short. It might not have that pullback, but I just want to short in that area because I can see the recurring pattern here that every time price does sweep a low, we do pull back. So it just doesn't make any sense really looking for a big swing trade for New Zealand dollar at this price. If we do pull back, great. We can talk about some shorts then. So all in all, for the USD pairs, it does look like we are likely to see more USD strength. That's the direction that we're pointing in, but I don't think USD is quite ready to be bought yet. So I'm being a bit more patient. As for gold, I'm pretty sure this one's just soaring, creating new highs. Yeah, still looking extremely bullish here. Not much to do with gold, to be honest. Actually, I do like this opportunity this morning, actually. I like this sell-off here. If price can come back one more time, I think that's a nice place for a buy. Strong demand zone, there's your first sell, second, sweep the low. I think that's a nice place for a buy. Of course, gold's getting a bit more corrective now, so we're getting some signs. We're starting to tire, but until we kind of break structure, I would keep looking to buy, really, because gold has done this a little bit where it tends Okay, looks like we are back. Apologies, I think the internet cut. Okay. Yeah, so as I was saying with gold, looking extremely bullish. We've got 4250 as our next big psychological level. And then beyond that, we've got 4300, which will be there as well. And gold's just ticking off all these levels like it's nothing, to be honest. So yeah, just looking at buys, and I think this looks like a nice opportunity, especially on the 30-minute chart, maybe even scale to the 15 for a trade there, just to really maximize the risk reward. But yeah, gold's still looking very bullish. And lastly, you got silver, which is still looking bullish as well, a little bit more tiresome than gold. We haven't quite made it back to highs yet, so we're having a bit of trouble. But again, still very much bullish on this one. I would suggest if we can make our way back to support, that could be a very nice place for a buy, especially a stop loss underneath. Or even if price spikes through this level as well, that would be a nice entry opportunity, because that could potentially liquidate some buyers already, and then that might then induce the continuation for us to actually get to highs and see some new ones as well. So that this level here would be my focus. Key support, a lot of people focusing on that area, especially if we can spike through. That would be a nice confluence. And then yeah, I don't see any red flags yet with silver, so the plan is still looking to buy it, expecting higher prices. The next big psych level probably would be 55. We smash through 50, that could be our next pit stop. So yeah, looking extremely bullish here for silver at the moment. So yeah, as a whole, gold and silver still pushing up. I was still, very much wanting to be buyers on those markets, especially intraday. With regards to USD, I'm still very bullish on the dollar. I'm still actively looking for buys, but I don't think it's quite ready yet. I think we've probably still got a day or two to wait for the buys do come into play. And a lot of the USD pairs I'm looking to short, pound, euro, Aussie, but especially focus on pound and Aussie dollar. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD. Let's go through some comments. Francis, US jobless claims moving the market. To be honest, I'm just looking at it as a catalyst to get the ball rolling, to be honest. I'm still very much looking to attack the buys on USD. I just think the jobless claims news has given us an opportunity to actually buy it at a better price. So I'm not so convinced about the reaction to the jobless claims. I'm still very much looking to try and buy the dollar. But not just yet, though. I do think we've still got a couple of days before the market is ready to go. Morning, Livia. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning. Good morning. Any markets you're looking at? Pound NZD, yes, we could take a look. Holding a sell, interesting. Because pound NZD has been a very bullish market. So if you're shorting, you're trying to go against that. So I wouldn't be looking to hold that for too long, but we shall take a look. Follow the trend. BTC buys around 107, 108. That's more or less where I'm looking at. Basically, Bitcoin's a bit of a range, looking for us to come to a low of the range before buying, but I'll go in a bit more detail. Yeah, I think dollar CAD's looking like a better trade than euro, because USD is not necessarily strong, but dollar CAD's pushing up, and that's because CAD's quite weak at the moment. So I do think currently dollar CAD's the better play. I do think euro shorts will come into play soon as well, but I just don't think it's the right time to be shorting euro. I think euro's still got a bit of upside, maybe a bit of consolidation to go through before we do dart back down. I am very much looking at this move, but I do think we might go through a bit of this before we do get that short. We may just spill over from here. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball here, but typically on pullbacks, we do tend to spend a bit of time. You can see here, push down, a bit of a spike, and then we go. Even with this last pullback we had the first push, price kind of consolidated a little bit of wick to the upside, eventually went. It's not all the time you see price just kind of springboard off off the dime and shoot straight back down. That will happen sometimes, of course. The market it will give you a lot of variations of different things, but I would wait for a bit more development there before shorting euro dollar. But I think dollar CAD's actually looking quite good, especially if you just want to be in and out, back to the high, call it a day. Okay, so I'll quickly go through our perps platform, then I'll go through some requests. What's up, Innocent? Welcome to the stream. What's up, CS, my man? Hope you're doing good. confusing gold bullish, but in correlation with the USD pair. Yeah, gold's doing what it wants at the moment, to be honest. Because again, the thing with correlation is that there are periods of time where correlation will act a certain way, and there's periods of time where it acts the opposite, and that's just due to like fundamentally what's going on around the world. When people are a little bit skeptical or a bit more fearful, gold's heavily bought. Doesn't really matter, what's happening with the dollar. People are putting their money into gold as a safe haven, as a store of value. So there will be times, especially during a lot of panic, where you will see dollar be strong and gold be strong as well, and the correlation will flip. So I don't really try to focus too much on correlation with USD and currency pairs with gold. I try to treat gold like its own sort of situation. I have done in the past, but I've run into the same problem where correlation isn't quite adding up. And times will change, and there will be times where USD and gold are a bit more inversely correlated, but I just prefer to focus on the price action. If gold looks like a good buy, stick with that. But yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out the Perps platform yet, make sure you go do so. It is linked in the chat, and I'm pretty sure I've pinned it, but this is something we've been working very, very hard on for the past few months. And we do have a wide range of cryptocurrencies which you can look to trade on the platform, but also other markets, FX, I was about to say crypto's already there. FX, commodities, indices will be added to the platform as well. You can trade from any Solana, Ethereum wallet, connected directly to the platform. You can trade from your wallet live, or you can trade with a demo currency as well, just to test out the platform, get a feel for it. And the thing I love the most is the AI feature, which provides support and resistance levels. It will allow you to analyze sentiment. It will provide our setups on the 4-hour chart as well. And it's something that we're always looking to improve and take to the next level. So if you're very interested about trading perps, or want to see what all the noise, what all the fuss is about, I do recommend to go check it out, guys. I have linked it at the top of the chat. And also, I've done very detailed videos on the platform itself, on the channel, how to use it, and how to use the AI too. So make sure you go check it out if you haven't done so already. Anywho, I'll go through the two positions I have at the moment, because I'm long on pound Aussie and long on New Zealand yen. So I'll quickly go through those markets first, and then I'll go through some requests. So if you do have any pairs, any markets you're looking for me to analyze, or just want my opinion on, drop it in the chat. We'll take a look, but I'm going to keep a mental note of pound, NZD, BTC, which have already been requested. Okay, cool. Had a second position buy for DXY. Nice. 98.4, and longs if it hits 98.2. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what the plan you said yesterday. So nice to see you sticking to it, CS. But yeah, I'm still looking at the buys as well in the dollar. It's just, yeah, I'm not too sure if it's quite ready yet, at least in terms of the patterns I trade anyway. So I'm going to keep a close eye. I do like the longs, but not quite there yet. I mean, I'm looking to short pound, so that's the way I'll be looking to trade USD strength. Francis, okay, you're in GA buys as well. Nice. I'm in some buys as well. Where's your take profit for the pound Aussie trade? I appreciate it, CS. If you guys are enjoying the stream, drop a like and subscribe. Does really help out. Almost healed. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you. Of course. I mean, that's what the channel is built upon. Appreciate it, man. Really nice message. Really appreciate that. But yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, drop a like, subscribe. A lot more content on the way. But yeah, I do have a position on pound Aussie. I was talking a lot about this yesterday. I did get stopped out of the position actually live on stream yesterday, but then I managed to hop in probably about 2-3 hours after I ended the stream. It was on this candle, which closed at 2 p.m. So yeah, 2 hours after. But I did have an initial entry over here. That was on the 30-minute chart. My stop loss was literally just here. It didn't actually hit the stop loss, but the spread did take me out of the position. And yeah, I managed to find a re-entry. I said if price gets back above this line here, I'll look to re-enter, because I'm basically looking at this as a flag pattern. So if price does show me momentum back above the low, I'll look to re-enter. And yeah, managed to find the entry yesterday afternoon, and since then it's been a pretty smooth ride to the upside. I'm expecting a lot more upside. I've already taken some partials at the high here, and I have moved stops to break even, so there's no risk on the table right now. But I am looking to see if we can take this back to 2.0927, which you'll see a little bit better on the daily chart, which is this resistance level over here. Basically looking to swing it to the next level. The reason why I'm so bullish in pound Aussie is just because I'm expecting the continuation of this uptrend. We've been bullish for quite a while, very consistent, higher highs and higher lows. Recently we had a nice pullback which came back and retested some broken resistance turned support. Very violent reaction last Friday with that strong bullish engulfing candle. But the reason why I liked it so much is because price closed back above this low here. So it looked like at one point we're going to see a breakout, price was pushing below, then we had a very sudden recovery of that area, and all I'm looking to do is bet on the continuation of that momentum from last Friday. So I dropped to the intraday charts to look for pullback opportunities. First attempt didn't really pan out to my liking. Managed to find the re-entry, and we're looking pretty good now. So yeah, expecting a lot more upside. We're probably not even halfway to my end goal of that position, so still a long way to go, but we are looking pretty good there on the pound Aussie long. So let's see how we can continue. And then this morning I just hopped into some New Zealand yen longs. I am looking to try and see if we can bank on some yen weakness. I'm looking to see if the yen pairs can pick up momentum to the upside, and I'm looking at pound yen longs as well, although still a little bit early to jump into that one. But I'm liking what I'm seeing here with New Zealand yen. This is my first attempt at it. I will look for a second attempt if this fails back at the lows here. So I will look for a re-entry down here if that doesn't go to plan. But I am betting on the continuation of price back to that swing high. The reason why I like this trade is because we had such an aggressive reaction a couple of weeks ago, which actually did break structure to the upside. And I'm banking on this as a pullback of that same move, of this impulse, for us to now finally see some upside back to resistance. And if this doesn't play out, I'll look to see if we can respect the low here and look for another re-entry. But yeah, I really like the position. Nice rejection this morning. Really like the wicks to the downside. We got the recovery back above the support level. That's kind of why I like the entry, because price found support. I think this was last week. We were dancing. Had a really aggressive spike to the downside, tapped into that demand area. Then a really strong shift in momentum. Not the biggest risk to rewards, only a 1 to 2, a little bit over a 1 to 2. But I like the opportunity regardless. And if the yen is going to be weak, I'm expecting New Zealand yen to catch up, because this is one of the yen pairs which hasn't really got moving yet. If you look at all the other yen pairs, pound yen, euro yen, Swiss yen, Aussie yen even, not so much CAD yen, all those yen pairs have been flying and looking very bullish. New Zealand yen's been pretty flat. And it's because NZD's been relatively weak. So it's been the battle between two weak currencies. But I'm expecting this to catch up with the other yen pairs. And yeah, hopefully that could take us back to this high. And yeah, we'll see how far we can take that one. So those are the two positions I'm in at the moment. Okay, so we'll go through some requests. So we'll take a look at BTC, pound, NZD. Yeah, typically gold is inverse of USD, but in times of panic and fear, gold's actually on the same wavelength of USD. Sometimes it can be positively correlated, which is why I don't really focus too much on the correlation between gold and USD anymore, because it comes and goes. Okay, so we'll go through. Hey, what's up, Bashi? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Basically, it's the top of the Asian session. Okay, so that's roughly back to the high here, I suppose. Well, we're looking pretty good there. So hopefully, momentum can pick up for both you and I. But I'm still looking at a lot more upside. Or just hit the camera there. There we go. Okay, let's go through pound NZD. So pound NZD is actually a very similar pair to pound Aussie. So, You know, if I'm bullish on pound Aussie, I'm probably bullish on pound NZD, and that is the case. However, pound NZD does not look like a good buy opportunity to me, and that's simply because price is just taking out these highs here. So not the best location for a buy. If anything, I'll be looking for pound NZD to go for a bit of a pullback soon, and that could interest me about picking it up. But it's been a very, very consistent uptrend here for pound NZD, so I'm not really going to be looking to short it, not in this climate. Yes, I understand the market's a bit overbought, sorry, and we could be going for a bit of a pullback, but still trying to short that's going to be so difficult. It's going to be so difficult, unless you're going to be in and out very quickly. So you take a short at the high, see a bit of downside, take your profit and run. Unless you're going to be very aggressive, going short pound NZD is going to be very difficult to do, because essentially what you're trying to say is I'm trying to predict the top of this bullish move, which, yeah, is always going to be a difficult guess to make, even if you got the best confidences in the world. So I would be very careful with shorts. Personally, I'm still very bullish. It would be nice to see if we can get another pullback for this one and just ride that momentum until we kind of break structure or see some aggressive bearish momentum. I would stick with the bullish bias for now. Then when we get some red flags, we'll speak about the shorting opportunities. But yeah, still for now, very bullish on pound NZD. We'll take a look at BTC next. And oh, nice, Bashi, in some gold longs. Hopefully swing looking good so far. Nice. Yeah, we just had a look at gold. Still looking very bullish. Maybe 42.50 next big target. $42.04, nice. Okay, we'll take a look at that as well. Yep, Euro Pound, we'll take a look as well. No problem. YouTube, nice name. Okay, France is really taking advantage of gold there. Okay, let me quickly go through BTC. So Bitcoin, an interesting one. Still looking pretty bearish at the moment here. So again, still being a bit cautious, but I do like the buys for BTC, especially with all the crisis at the moment as well. But it would have to be at this low here. I want to see price potentially spike through, reject it really well, and then from there I would anticipate some upside, because from a technical perspective, if I zoom out, look at the bigger picture, in fact, if I just go to the weekly chart, nothing's really changed here. Nothing's really happened to tell me that Bitcoin is about to sell off. I would say if BTC breaks through here aggressively, that would be a bit of a warning sign to tell me, okay, maybe Bitcoin's got a bit more downside in it. But even if we do break through that, I would still be looking at buys overall. I quite like this demand zone here around 90 to 80k. So if we do break through this support, I would expect a bigger pullback, and this could be a very nice place to pick up some longs later on. So in my opinion, only really focus at just buying BTC for now, unless you're looking for some counter trend plays on the lower time frames. There might be some nice shorts on the way down if we do break through that support level. So that could be something we discuss maybe in a week's time if we do make that break. But for now, we haven't made that break, and we very much could respect it as support and turn around, or at least continue this consolidation here. So for now, I'm still pretty bullish BTC. I did say not really focused at finding any opportunities in the middle of the range though. So anything in here has not really been my forte, but let's say price does get to the low here, reject well, I do think you can at least find a bounce off that. Okay, I think we're back. Apologies guys, apparently unstable internet connection, but I think everything is looking alright at the moment. Yes, we'll take a look at Euro Pound afterwards. We'll go through gold first though. Take a look at what Bashi's doing. USD CHF, lost some money with that guy. Yeah, dollar CHF, really big move down. Interesting move, of course, with USD weakness coming into play. CHF has been quite strong though. A lot of the CHF pairs have been falling. It's just that USD CHF has been taking its time because CHF has been USD's been quite strong. So you've got two strong currencies partnered against each other. But we'll take a look at dollar CHF because if anything, there could actually be some selling opportunities in dollar CHF, which kind of goes against my USD bias, but the technicals are not looking necessarily great for the buyers. BTC already broke through and liquidated everyone. Your chart's wrong. Is my chart wrong? Oh, okay. Damn. All this time I've been looking at Coinbase. No, Bitstamp, sorry. I see. Okay, what? Binance didn't take the low either. I suppose that's with different brokerages. You're going to get a lot more than crypto rather than with FX. FX you will get some. Differences as well, but not normally that big. Occasionally maybe, but yeah, that's interesting. I mean, Binance, the low hasn't been taken. Let me try another broker. CME. I mean, that was a futures anyway. Let's go Kraken. Okay, damn, that would have done. Okay, I see exactly. Yeah, that is an issue. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, at the end of the day, it depends what brokerage you're using, but you want to be consistent with whatever brokerage that is. I've been looking at Bitstamp for a long time. Sometimes I do look at Coinbase. But normally Bitstamp or Coinbase. I look at them, and yeah, according to Bitstamp, we haven't taken out that low. So it'd be interesting because if you're holding the same position on Bitstamp, if you had your stop loss here, you wouldn't have been liquidated. But if you had, is it Coinbase? If you had Coinbase, maybe, depends where the stop loss is. Binance, no. If you had Kraken, yeah, you would have done. Yeah, you've been swept very aggressively. But yeah, after all, stay consistent with whatever brokerage you're using or exchange. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Matt. Okay, so we will go through. I'll take a look at Euro Pound because YouTube is losing his mind right now. So yeah, with Euro Pound, not a pair which I'm focusing on too much. I am kind of gearing to shorts. That's kind of what, already on the daily chart, that's kind of what I'm getting ready for. Some shorty opportunities. We are starting to slow down, and I wonder if price is getting ready for another one of these highs to push down. But way too early for me to jump into anything. We are still relatively consistent with all these higher lows. If I drop to the 4 hour chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, could argue another one could be forming there as well. So I don't really see this as a great opportunity to short the market. Even if we do manage to break through some lows here, we do run straight into trouble where we could reverse. So in terms of risk to reward, I don't see much of an opportunity. Like I said, I do think we probably will eventually take a big dive, but I'd rather that happen and then I look for the next pullback along the way, because this would break all these lows for me, do all the heavy lifting. Then I'm just looking for the pullback of that move for the continuation, hopefully. So that's more or less what I'm keen on for Euro Pound, which again could take a couple of weeks potentially, but I'm not in any rush to trade Euro Pound, to be honest. It's not my favorite pair. If I'm going to trade it, there needs to be a really good opportunity, because it's not my favorite pair. But yeah, I can see us get ready for some shorts, but I don't really see any crystal clear short opportunities, especially where we're trading. These are coming to some higher lows here. Not the best place to short. Maybe if you do see a strong break of that, then you're betting on momentum continuing. You can take a short there, maybe stop loss above the high, and then try and bet on that. That's an idea, but yeah, personally, I'd rather wait for the waves to happen than try and see if I can find a pullback to ride the next wave. Okay, so we'll go through dollar CHF next. If I want to target, okay, I'll go through dollar CAD long idea afterwards. Actually, I'll take a look at gold as well. Completely forgot about gold. Issues right now was not only in your place here in Sydney, Australia, happen at the same time. Is it globally? Oh, damn! I have no idea. I'm using my phone data right now, so I don't know. I have no idea, man. But thank you for letting me know. Okay, let's take a look at gold, and we'll go through dollar CHF. So gold. Also, I need to keep an eye on Euro Aussie because I'm looking at some buys intraday for that one. So I do need to keep an eye on that pair. But yeah, in terms of gold, I did say at the start of the stream there could be some nice buys down here. I don't think that will be entirely great for your trade there, Bashi, if we do have that pullback. But to be honest, if you're not long on gold, that's kind of where I like to try and take some buys, especially if you're looking at like a more of a 15-30 minute trade idea. That's kind of where I would like to be positioned. But nonetheless, gold is very bullish, and the chances are we'll probably just rally. And 42.50 for me is the next big psychological level, and it looks like price is going to be attracted to that level, to be honest. So yeah, gold's looking pretty good. We are moving into some resistance, some areas of supply on like a 5-minute chart, so that's kind of where you want to be a little bit wary of. But it looks like we've had some type of retracement of this move here, and that could be enough to see us continue forward back to highs and maybe some new ones as well. But if we do come lower, if gold does fail at that area, I would keep an eye around 42.05, and from there I do think price can continue. But overall, gold's still extremely bullish. Delete that zone. Okay, let me delete it before price notices. My bad, Bashi. Didn't want price to clock onto that. Okay, let's go take a look at dollar CHF, and then I'll take a look at Euro Aussie, because I am looking at a trade, so I do need to pay attention. Yes, dollar CAD, we'll take a look. Raphael, I kind of already went through that, but I'll go through it quickly. In terms of dollar CHF, yeah, so we had a very violent move to the downside yesterday, which was quite interesting because, I'm looking very much at buying the dollar, selling pound USD, selling Aussie dollar, selling euro dollar. So the equivalent would be looking to try and buy dollar CHF. But from what I'm seeing, it's not really looking good for a buy, especially after that move yesterday. I'm not really looking at this, and I'm not getting the feeling that I should be looking to buy this. If anything, I don't mind some sells, but it does go against my dollar buy, so that is a bit of a contradiction in my head there. So I'm not too sure. I'll probably leave dollar CHF alone for that same reason. But after all, we are in a pretty bearish trend here. We have seen some upside, but it hasn't done anything significant. We've pulled back into some supply. It looks like the market has rejected it, and we've seen a very aggressive, well, it wasn't that aggressive, but we have seen a sturdy move to the downside here. So I do actually think an opportunity like this, a nice kind of intraday correction into this area, could provide some nice shorts, at the very least back into that support level. Maybe we might see a continuation back to lows. It will depend on what USD does, and of course what CHF does as well. But this to me actually looks like an idea that makes sense, sort of like a head and shoulder pattern, left head, right shoulder, price coming back into resistance for a short, and you're basically looking for the continuation of that momentum, pullback, next drop. So yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the buys here. I'm not looking at this market. I'm not seeing any good buys. Maybe some short-term buys off this low, sure, but I wouldn't necessarily bet on a swing back to highs here. I think I'm asking a lot from the market. Yeah, I think pound, euro, Aussie just look like cleaner opportunities to take advantage of dollar strength if that is going to be the case. So yeah, dollar CHF, an interesting one. If anything, I'm leaning towards a bearish bias. That looks like a respectable zone to short from, and maybe we come back and revisit. Maybe we even break through as well and just continue the trend. But yeah, absolutely, I'm not looking to buy this anymore. Kind of backing away from dollar CHF. I'll quickly go through that dollar CAD long opportunity Raphael is itching about. If you want to target 1.42, which is the better place to enter long, 1.42. Okay, so you're looking for a pretty big move there. Well, if you're looking to target that level, I preferably would be looking at a pullback like this if I want to look to target that. So anywhere in here. Of course, that's a big range, but I'd wait for price to pull back there, develop well, and then look for some buys. I wouldn't want to be looking to buy here to try and target up there. Number one, price is already sweeping some major highs. That could induce a pullback pretty soon. Number two, the market is quite stretched already. So we've already got a stretched move. Do I want to bet on that stretched move continuing for another big move? Probably not. So I'd wait for a pullback, and a pullback kind of anywhere in here could be a very smart place for a buy. And then this pullback could give you that push back to highs and maybe back to 1.42. So that's kind of where I look to try and position myself. After a deep swing, then we can expect the energy or the momentum required to actually go and hit such a big level. So yeah, I think you're right to be looking for buys, but a push to 1.42, I wouldn't be looking at intraday opportunities there. You'll be asking too much from the market intraday. Push back to the swing high, sure. If he drops like an hourly chart, push back to the high here. That's a pretty reasonable bet there for dollar CAD. But all the way up there, I think you're asking a lot from just the intraday swing, or intra-week swing anyway. But yeah, I am looking at some buys on Euro Aussie. It's a very similar idea to the buys I have on Pound Aussie. Both looking at a continuation back to resistance, both trading in some really healthy trends on the higher time frame. If I expand to the weekly chart, actually, you can see overall being up, performing pretty well. I quite like this wick we had last week, really aggressive spike to the downside, also respecting some nice areas of support, and you can probably even call some areas of demand on the left there. So it looks to me that price is basically having some type of weird flag pattern, some weird correction, and I'm expecting us to now continue at least back to resistance. So the trade I'm after for Euro Aussie is basically trading it from current price to that high. And the reason why I like it as well, not only that we're in the direction of the higher time frame trend, but we've seen a very violent bullish move here. So it's kind of like something shifted. We've gone from very corrective bearish swings to suddenly a really strong bullish move coming in. This is kind of like the sign of bigger players coming to the market, ready to try and push the market higher. And all I'm looking to do is see if I can find a pullback somewhere to ride it back to highs. And I will keep this bullish bias as long as we don't take out this low here. I don't mind us even pulling back to this zone here. I don't mind us even spiking through slightly. But I don't want us to see us take out this low. If we do, then I'm going to be a bit more cautious. So yeah, I'm actively looking to try and buy Euro Aussie, but I have to be a bit careful because we are trading resistance to our left there. So I'm going to have to be quite careful, not try and force the trade. But I am looking at some buys. I like the zone we're trading in here as well. And even look at this area here too. I'll probably be looking at entries maybe not 15. I think 15 is a bit too small. Maybe 15 actually. Maybe 15. 15 or 30. Either of those two time frames. I might look at this maybe for a buy. If the recovery is good, I might look at that. Or I'll look at the same pattern, just slightly lower down there. And then yeah, target would be at least back to the high. That would be my first target to manage the trade. And then I'll leave a good chunk to continue back to resistance there. So see if I can really take advantage of what the higher time frames are doing. So Euro Aussie is probably at the top of the watch list now, because I do think I can find a trade with this one in the next day or two. Pound USD and Aussie dollar, I really like the shorts, but I don't think that will be ready for the next day or two at least. So I'm not so concentrated on those two markets. And I quite like pound yen longs, but again, I don't think that'll be ready for another day or two either. So I'm going to let that one slide. At the moment, I am long pound Aussie, which is basically the same idea as Euro Aussie. We're going to see how that does continue, but I'm looking at a much bigger target for that one. And I also hopped into New Zealand yen longs as well, which is still fairly early doors, but I'm looking to see if I can swing it back into resistance up there. So these are very much swing positions. Let the market do its thing. I'm very much just going to see if I can take the next trade, which it would be Euro Aussie. And the only reason why I'm happy with Euro Aussie is because pound Aussie's break even. So yes, they're very correlated pairs, but if pound Aussie suddenly dumps and Euro Aussie suddenly dumps too, I would only just worry about taking the loss in Euro Aussie rather than both of them together. So yeah, I want to keep a close eye on Euro Aussie, but in fairness, I don't think I'll get an entry on stream, so I don't need to be too focused. Let me drop to the 15. I mean, maybe, but I highly doubt it. So I can keep an eye, but I don't need to be too engrossed. What's up, Yusuf? Good morning. Hope you're well. I'm doing good today. Thank you for asking. In a couple positions at the moment. I've been struggling with school these days. Sorry to hear that, Yusuf. And I can imagine it's been a bit of a challenge as well, trying to trade and do school as well. Because school is full-time in itself. But hopefully you get through the tough period though. Okay, got a day off because of holiday. Well, get your head above water then, I suppose. Goal projection 5k. Yeah, everyone's talking about 5k now. Everyone keeps talking about 5k. I mean, the thing is, 5k is the new 4k, because a couple of months ago everyone was talking about 4k. We've hit 4k now. Everyone's talking about 5k, and I suppose at this rate, 5k is not such a crazy suggestion, to be honest. It depends really, because to me, to the average trader, if we hit 5k this year or next year, doesn't really matter, because you're looking to trade gold. If you're invested in gold, you've parked a large sum of capital in gold, then of course you're looking for 5k. The sooner the better, of course. But as a trader, you're in and out of the market, so you're not necessarily looking. Even a swing trader, you're relatively in and out of the market too. So it doesn't really matter if 5k is hit by December or 5k is hit by July next year. As long as the market provides good opportunities for buys, that's the most important thing to me anyway. But yeah, I don't think 5k projection is crazy anymore. Thoughts on GJ, Aussie and gold on the 15? Okay, we can take a look. I'll go through gold first. Gold is still rallying. Yeah. It looks like it is. Oh, look at that. Literally, I only looked at gold probably like 10 minutes ago, was it? I remember I was literally marking out the same zone. And I said, be careful of that zone. And then come back 5 seconds later, price is completely broken through that like it's nothing. So yeah, gold's looking very, very bullish right now. Have we just created new highs? Yep. So there's not much to say really, because I just said this morning it would be nice if price pulls back here, but yeah, we were way too bullish to do that in hindsight. But yeah, I suppose with the next play now, because we've just broken through that structure. I'm already on the 15. I would say if you're on like a 5-minute chart, this could be a nice place for a pullback and a continuation. Maybe even like a 1-minute chart even. You might find some nice opportunities there. But yeah, gold is looking very, very bullish right now. Momentum's still very strong. This zone could act as support to provide the next higher low for the next swing. Of course, at the moment, we're extremely bullish. We just swept the highs. So I wouldn't be so keen on looking to buy gold right now. But let's say if we can get another pullback, yeah, that could look good. Another one of these high lows. This way you're aggressive, but you're aggressive with price here. And then yeah, 42.50, next big psychological level, not too far away. Probably where gold is headed to next. Well, probably a lot further than that, but at least that's our next checkpoint for gold anyway. But yeah, 15-minute chart. I'm not seeing much in the 15 because again, we just swept the highs. I wouldn't trade that pullback on a 15. It's just too big of a time frame. I mean, this could still be a nice buy on the 15 as well. You'd be well positioned, stops underneath the low, and you'd still be able to take advantage of a swing back to resistance with a good risk to reward. So that would be a nice place to focus on. But yeah, the market is just so bullish right now, so you might just fly. Yeah, gold is just rallying like no tomorrow right now. In terms of pound yen is a pair which I'm starting to get really interested in for the buys. It looks like we're getting there for the long idea, because I said I wasn't sure at the start of the week if price is just going to have a bit of a meltdown, or is this trend still going to continue back to highs. Now, because it looks like price is forming support here, I'm going to be looking at the latter. Price finding support, high low forming, and a push back to the highs at 207, 208. Is very much going to be the plan now for pound yen. And I'll stick with that until I see some really aggressive bearish momentum or we break through this low. Then I'll rethink things. But for now, that's very much my take on pound yen. So in terms of opportunities, I'm not seeing a good buy opportunity just yet because we just approached some area of supply right now, which gave us this drop here. And that could easily give us another drop there. So this is not the best place to be looking to try and buy pound yen. What I would suggest is, if you can scale to like a 15-minute chart, this last kind of pullback here could be an interesting place for a buy. If you can get a nice pullback into that zone, not only can we trade it back to highs, but maybe you can leave a position to run a little bit to see if you can go push all the way to the high there. Yeah, it'll be an aggressive trade, of course. You're looking for a pretty big move, but you're in the direction of the higher time frame trend, and there is a good probability that price gets there anyway. So it would actually be a pretty smart idea to leave a position to run. Doesn't have to be a big size, a small portion of your original position to run to see if you can take advantage of that, and you can always trail stops as well. But yeah, this could be interesting here for pound yen. We've been pretty continuous with the higher lows here. 1, 2, 3. Perhaps we can try and find the fourth. I wouldn't want to be selling directly into this zone though. Buying directly into that zone, so no buys up here. I do want us to pull back. And yeah, maybe around the 202, 500, 202, 600 mark. There might be some nice entries for a long. And yeah, that's the move I'll be looking for. So pound yen, I'm getting ready for some buys. Not quite here yet. Still trading in an area of supply on our left. So not necessarily betting on price breaking through that with any trades. But if we can pull back away from it, or of course, if we can go and break through the area, break structure, and then find the next pullback after that, that would be something interesting as well. So either which way, we pull back from the area or go and break it and retest it. But I am looking at buys, and I am looking to see if we can get back to resistance there. And lastly, Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD, I kind of like the sells with Aussie CAD. I like the sells. We've had a lot of momentum a couple of weeks ago. Was that a couple of weeks ago? Yeah. No, was it last week? 10th of October. That's about 7 days ago. So, yeah, last week. We've had a lot of momentum, and I'm looking at the continuation of that. It looks like price has formed some type of double top here, and we could be turning around. I still do like the buys from this level here, but I want to see price get there first, of course, before I do talk about the buys. So for now, I quite like the shorts, and what I would suggest for some opportunities is maybe if we can push back to highs here, and then try and find some shorts as we sweep the highs. This would be prime real estate for a short. Back at resistance, a stop loss above the highs there. Maybe we tap into this demand zone, which gave us this aggressive drop. So you can tag into that as well around 0.917, and then try and find the short there. I'm anticipating this weird bullish move to be a correction really for us to see the next drop. All I'm looking to do is bet on this continuing. So yeah, Aussie CAD, I quite like the shorts, but in terms of entries, it would have to be around here. Then yeah, looking for a push into 0.905 roughly. So Aussie CAD bearish, pound yen bullish, gold bullish. Not seeing much of an opportunity unless you scale right down on gold though. Gold's looking really good, Bashi. Roll my stop loss, nice. Wait, what? Oh, okay. So you're still in the trade. I thought you said it took you out a break even there. Might have just entered a risky scalp short. Well, fortune favors the brave, Matt. To be fair, I did get burnt on a short on gold. I think it was last week as well. So yeah, you won't be the first person to get burnt on a short. Okay, LFTJ looking for a retest. On panel is still holding UJ sells, nice. I wish I was in the sells as well, from UJ as well. Swaps my broker is great. Yeah, the swaps on the yen pairs are hectic. Yeah, there's no way around it, to be honest. If you're going to short the yen pairs, you're going to be paying heavy swaps, to be honest. I suppose just don't look for any big swings, to be honest. Because the more you're in it, the more you're going to be paying. What price did I get in pound Aussie? Let's have a look. Pound Aussie, yeah, into that 2.05061 at the lows here. But at FTJC looking for a break and retest around 2.058. 058. That would be around there. So I suppose you're looking for the retest of the highs here. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening as well. I mean, this is the structure I'm following. Low, high, higher low, higher high, another higher low, another higher high. So effectively looking for that next higher low. Perhaps it might be the retest, perhaps you might dip slightly further. But as long as you don't break through structure there, I'm expecting pound Aussie to continue higher. But altogether looking good. Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, with gold, the thing is with gold being super bullish, it's going to have those kind of minute retracements. So if you're going to short it, you can actually have some success with it, to be honest. But you just have to manage the trade well, because even a bear can still make money in a bull market and vice versa. But as a bear, you can't trade like a bull. A bull in a bull market would sit in a trade, try and stretch as far as they can. They can be a bit more relaxed with the position. And try and swing that trade a lot further and be more aggressive too. As a bear, you have to know your cues when to enter. When price takes out highs, yes, we do tend to retrace, but you don't be betting on this happening now. And that's probably where a lot of people do go wrong with going counter trend, is that they try to look for the reversal every single time. And the thing is, the market will eventually reverse. No market's going to always trend higher. It's going to have might not reverse completely, but it will have some bearish counter trends. So you are right to suggest that, but the probability of you catching that counter trend move is going to be so low. The probability of you catching a little bounce, off the high, that can be pretty high there. And then you take your profit and you run. Maybe you open some buys on the way back up as well. But just because the market is very bullish doesn't mean you can't make money short, but you just have to be super on it with your management, and treat it accordingly, because if not, you will get burnt. And no problem, Yusuf. Happy to help. Cool, nice buy in GA. Nice. Do you think it's running out of steam? Maybe a little bit. I mean, every market's going to have its time where it does run out a bit of steam and have a bit of a pause, but it depends what your plan is. Is your plan just to hold the trade until you think steam's run out and then close, or is your plan to swing to a potential target? And if that is the case, you're going to have to try and stomach some times where the market's not looking too great anymore, because very rarely you're going to get into a trade where price just flies to your target and there's no kind of move against you. It's just a clean sweep. Most of the time, you're going to get into a trade and it's going to do a bit of this, before it does get to your target. And you're going to have to try and stomach those moves. And initially, when this has happened, you're probably thinking, okay, momentum's running out. Let me just exit so I don't take a small win or a break even. And then eventually you see price hit your target. So you don't want to be too judgmental with price, because yes, it could be running out of steam. Maybe it does pull back down. Maybe it doesn't. We don't necessarily know. That's kind of where your trading plan and your targets and your style of trading comes into play. I'm still expecting us to get back there. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Yes, I would say we are tiring, but it could just be price retracing a little bit to continue. So yeah, do with that information what you will. Kudos, what I think about Aussie dollar. Okay, we can have a look at that. I'm very bearish in Aussie. Yusuf, yeah, UJ, to be fair, UJ was so annoying. I'll quickly go through that. I did take a break even on that position because I entered shorts in the morning at like 10:15. It was on the stream. And I didn't really want to hold the trade overnight because of spreads widening, and I don't have a big stop loss like when I do on the 4-hour chart. So I said I would close the position and then re-enter hopefully the following morning. This was the trade I took on Monday, so I was looking for a short back into the low here. Nothing crazy, just a pullback of that bearish move. We came and tapped into this area here. That was my confidence to go short. And then, yeah, I closed the position like around here. I believe this was like 10:15, so just before the daily candle was going to close. So I closed the position there. And then I was hoping that I could wake up the following morning with price sweeping the high here, just continuing the same pattern, because we had the high here, price swept the high, then I got my trade. I was looking for the exact same thing here. But unfortunately, it just happened during the agent session. Actually, fairly early on in the agent session as well. This was like, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Really nice entry, and would have been a lovely short back into the low there. Would have been a lovely short into the low. But I woke up the next day, and I think price was already down there, so I missed the re-entry, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, I walked away for break even. I think I managed it well, because ideally I don't want to hold that overnight, because if I want to find an intraday move, especially in the London session, by the end of the day, I should either be taken out for a loss or I should be in a decent amount of profit. If price is still break even, I'd rather get out of that position and enter the next day, because we probably will sweep highs there. So yeah, at least the analysis played out to plan. But the entry was a little bit off, and then it came during the agent session, and I was snoozing, so I couldn't take advantage of it. But yeah, really nice swing. I think a couple of people did actually get some shorts on Dolly and later on, but those outside my trading hours. Okay, we'll go take a look at Aussie dollar. So yeah, Aussie dollar I'm very short bias on. Let me see what the sentiment is saying for Aussie dollar. Because yesterday we had a look at it and it said people are very short bias, but people, short bias on social media, but a lot of people were positioned long. A lot of retail traders positioned long, taking advantage of the big drop we had last week. They were buying into that, and the drop we had this week too. Okay, a bit more of a mixed bias. Okay, retail position says a bearish lean. So that's probably not crazy bearish, but slightly more bearish. So yeah, yesterday everyone was very, very bullish on Aussie. A lot of people were buying here. And yeah, they'll be in a bit of profit, so kudos to them. But I do think the bigger move is with the sellers. I'm still looking for a push into the support level. And the plan I have for Aussie dollar is another run to the upside, then the high forms, and then we get the push. This is where I'm looking to try and see if I can position myself short, which was the plan right at the start of the week. I remember on Monday we were trading around here. I said I want to see a bit more upside before the move. We didn't get that initially. We had this violent move down. And at that point, I thought, okay, Aussie's looking really bearish. We're probably just going to hit support. I'm going to miss the trade. But no, price formed support here and it had a really violent recovery. And it looks like I might actually get the entry I was waiting for right at the start of the week. So, I mean, I don't think this will happen for another day or two. So I still think we're about 24, 48 hours away from an entry on Aussie. But all I'm looking to do is try and find the next lower high. We've got one high there, create that low, next lower high, create that low. Now I'm just looking for the next one to again bet on the next low. So Aussie, very short bias, clear zone around 0.655 for some entries. Simply just waiting for price to get there now. Of course, I'm going to monitor how we get there because that's going to be important too. But yeah, very short bias. And of course, I'm going to keep a close eye on the DXY as well, which I'm still looking for buys. But I just think it's a bit too early, hence why I kind of drew this squiggly line over here. I do think price probably will develop maybe for another day or two. We had a fairly strong move to the downside here, and we have approached supply, so it kind of does make sense. But I do want price to kind of relax first, get ready for a bit of support forming, maybe a bit of consolidation, and then maybe find some buys, if not tomorrow, maybe Monday. But I am looking at this for the dollar, which should help Aussie fall. So that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie dollar for now. No problem, G-Child, happy to help. Hey, what's up, Lighton? Welcome to the stream, hope you're doing good. I think I missed your message there. What's up, what's up? USDs are dollar yen. Yes, we could take a look, no problem. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we'll take a look at pound dollar and pound NZD2. If you do have any requests, guys, just drop it in the chat and we shall take a look. Okay, so we'll go take a look at completely forgot which pair I was going to go first. I read pound USD. USDs are dollar yen. Almost forgot your pairs again, Lighton. Okay, so USDs are. So we had a look at this one yesterday. What did I say? I said I don't like the buys here. I like the buys above resistance because this was a very, very significant level. You can see we reacted once, twice, third time, fourth, and then fifth, sixth, even seventh as resistance there. So we have a lot of attention at that level. And I like the buys if we were to break above. Then we find continuations to follow that. Because we're struggling to break that level, I do think the sellers are still very much in control, especially with this down move. And I do think this low is still likely to be taken out. And then we can probably speak about some longer term buys. But in my view here, I do think the market is still very much in control of the sellers. Maybe if we were to push back into resistance, you might find another opportunity to short it again there. If I drop intraday, you might be able to take some very intraday swings. So something like this as we continue lower. The market's starting to form some lower highs. We could form another one in this similar nature. Not the biggest fan of this because we're coming into the middle where it's a bit more noisy. You will see a bit more fluctuation there. So I'd always be a bit more skeptical finding entries in these particular areas. I like to be up high or down low. So I'd rather wait for an entry at resistance there. But yeah, to me, USDZR still looks pretty bearish. I do think that higher time frame trend is still likely to continue, and I do think this low down here is likely to go. So target still at 17.02. You might find some nice intraday pullback opportunities as we progress. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the buys there. So just looking at more downside for now for USDZR. And especially if USD weakness coming to play, kind of makes sense too. In terms of USDJPY, so this one's a bit awkward now because we've already seen the move. We talked about the shorts here at the start of the week. We've seen that play out. Do I still want to keep shorting the pair? No, not really. I did say I like the shorts if dollar yen does come crashing back down below this high, because there is a possibility that this uptrend here or this corrective move here might just be a big correction of this move, and perhaps we're getting ready for something like that. So this could be a very nice place to short. But as a person who likes to stick with the trend, and as a person who's pretty bearish on the yen as well, and pretty bullish on the dollar, I'm not really keen on continue to short dollar yen, especially when we've got support we're coming into now. Prior resistance turns support there too. So if price does manage to crack back underneath this high, especially aggressively, yeah, I do think there might be some shorts for a bit more downside. And those are the opportunities I'd be a bit more interested in. As of right now, we are respecting it as support. And this has been a very super corrective move, and it is giving me some pullback vibes. So if I do see momentum kick in, there could be some nice pullback opportunities intraday to trade it back to the high, so on and so forth. But yeah, if I'm looking to short dollar yen, I do want us to crack back underneath that level, and then we can speak about some shorts. If not, this could generally be a pullback for us to continue higher. So yeah, it depends on your bias. If you're short bias, I'll wait for a more convincing move lower. If you're long bias, I'll wait to see if you can kind of break out that counter trend line, see some strength come into play, then look for some intraday longs to take advantage of that. Okay, so we'll go through pound USD and pound NZD next. Yeah, exactly. They changed the name, so it's a bit weird. The only reason I know it's Lighten's is by his profile picture, but the names have changed suddenly, so I'm kind of guessing people's names, to be honest, and I probably got some wrong. So I do apologize for that. FXG, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing good. Well, nice shirt then. Appreciate it, Lighten. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at the Dow Jones as well. Let me just go through pound USD and pound NZD quickly. So pound USD is probably my favorite USD pair right now for a short. I don't mean right now as in this second, but I do think over the next 48 hours we could see some really nice short opportunities here, especially if you're looking for a swing trade as well. I'm still looking at push back to this support level. That's very much my target. We spoke about that last week as well. I generally thought on, was it Wednesday or Tuesday? No, Tuesday, when we had all that momentum and we had that pound news early in the week, and pound was looking super bearish, price was falling. I generally thought price was just going to go and hit support, to be honest. So the fact that we've got this surprise bullish move here, or at least surprise to me, is now allowing me the opportunity to hopefully find some swing opportunities to short this back down. And yeah, target's back at 1.315. And this is the zone. This is the zone I'm focusing on. Of course, at the moment, we've just arrived. So I don't want to be the first person to try and short the market. Normally not a good idea. I want price to slow down, maybe find some resistance, consolidate maybe, spike one more time to the upside, and then hopefully that becomes a nice shorting opportunity. And that's why I say it could take maybe 48 hours for this to really develop. I think I'll be looking at entries I think between the 4-hour and the hourly chart. I don't think I'll go more intraday than that because this is now a big swing. So I'll be using a slightly higher time frame. My original plan coming to the week was probably more of a 50-minute trade around here, but I didn't get the entry. So yeah, now that we've got this bigger pullback, I quite like this swing idea. If we can respect the slower high and don't break through it, I do think price is likely to drop back into that support level. So yeah, extremely bearish on pound USD. I like the zone we're trading at. It's just too early. We've just got there. We've just arrived. Let's let price react, because there is that chance we do break through as well. And if that happens, I'm going to have to reanalyze and take a back seat. I won't necessarily shift bullish, but I wouldn't be so aggressively bearish either. So yeah, if that momentum does continue, I'll have to be pretty careful. But let's see what we do in that area. In terms of pound NZD, this one's just super bullish, so I would naturally have a bullish bias, but I need to see a much bigger pullback. If I zoom out to the daily chart, you can see where we're trading. And this is a major area of resistance, so I don't really want to be buying at this price. Yes, the market is bullish. Yes, we do have a convincing trend, but I don't want to be buying all the way up there. I want price to be at an area where I know buyers are entering the market, maybe some sellers are taking some profit, and that's where I want to enter the trade. I want the market to be a little bit oversold, in a bullish market. It's always a nice confluence to have when you are looking to follow a trend, not at fresh highs. So unless you're very intraday and just taking a small piece of the pie, fair enough. But I like the idea of a bigger pullback. I quite like this zone actually here. Nice demand zone, really aggressive candle. You've got some weaker lows there. Price might want to go and take out. We might get that bigger pullback, and then from there, I'll be happy to find some longs, especially intraday as well. So pound NZD, very bullish for this one. Just not trading at an area which I think makes much sense for a buy, unless, like I said, you're very intraday and you want to be in and out. If you're looking for more of a swing trade, even a trade that can last a couple of days, yeah, I would still wait for a bigger pullback. But yeah, definitely bullish on pound NZD. We'll go through the Dow Jones next. If I have missed out a pair, I'm sure you guys will let me know. Yeah, exactly. Remember my pictures. Just don't change your profile pictures, people, because then I won't know who you are. What's up, Pavinator? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Happy Thursday, right back at you. The weather's been a little bit mix and match, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the temperature is great, nice and warm, basically in shorts and a t-shirt all the time. But there has been some very crazy storms, I'm not gonna lie, and a lot of rain. It comes and goes, but it's warm, so I can't complain. Aussie dollar's looking interesting. I agree. I'm very short biased in Aussie. Just waiting for some entries now at the moment. Take a look back at Euro Aussie. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot about that. The thing is, I'm not used to entering positions on stream normally, because I used to always trade 4-hour charts. So I would either take my position just before the stream when the 10 o'clock candle closes UK time, or I would take it at 2 p.m, which would be 2 hours after the stream's ended. Having to keep up with markets while streaming is something I'm getting used to now. I mean, Euro Aussie, in fairness, hasn't really changed much, to be honest. So there's nothing for me to do, but I'm still looking at the same idea. Price taking out that low, a nice recovery, and a buy back to highs. And then I'm looking to see if I can push it up there too. Same idea as pound Aussie, very similar pairs. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can jump into Euro Aussie as well. Not quite there yet though. In terms of US 30, let's start on the higher time frame just to get a bigger picture. Yeah, still super bullish. Of course, we had that sell-off last week. Haven't really seen a continuation of that, so my first impression is that this is probably a bottom, another higher low for price to continue. Because if this wasn't, I would expect it more corrective behavior on the way up and some more forceful momentum. I would be expecting those lows to be taken out. And it looks to me that price is putting some higher lows again. So this looks like a bottom. And if that is a bottom, that should take us back to highs again and just expect the natural uptrend to continue. So I'll be pretty bullish here on the Dow Jones. In terms of opportunities for a trade, I quite like that spike there. It'd be nice if price can do that again. That'll be a nice place for an entry. If you're a bit more intraday, let me drop to like a 15. If you're a bit more intraday, because there's a lot of supply and resistance here, so I don't really want to be buying into here, because if the sellers are going to make a move, it's probably from here. So I would suggest to keep an eye more so in this area for a buy. I don't really want to see price break the low there on the 15. If we do, then we could probably expect a much bigger pullback and then probably a buy off there. So what I would focus on is looking to see if that momentum can continue, a pullback here, and then some buys there. And then, yeah, a push back to highs, and maybe so on and so forth. So, yeah, Dow Jones to me is still looking pretty bullish. I like the buys here. I'm not too sure if that will happen, though, but I would suggest keep an eye. Most likely, you'll probably see a continuation of that momentum currently. But, yeah, I just wouldn't want to be buying at highs there, especially coming back into that selling pressure on the left. So, yeah, still very bullish on US 30. The goal would be a push just back to highs in general. So if you're looking to trade US 30 over the next few days, the plan very much is just trying to find good pullback opportunities to trade it back to that high. And maybe some swing trades as well. So yeah, I hope that made sense on US 30. I'll go through Aussie dollar quickly for Pavinator, because I think we're both looking at the same move. Entering short 0.65151. Okay, we'll have a look at that one. If you're watching his trades, you want to fight. Yeah, that's funny. No worries, SGJ. Hope you're doing good though. Welcome. Good morning. It's actually just gone afternoon here in Kigali, but good morning to you. Hope you're doing good. No worries, Bashi. No worries, my man. Okay, let's go through Aussie dollar, then I'll take a look at my trades, because I want to see how they're doing as well. Okay, so we'll go through Aussie dollar, which is definitely one of the pairs I have on my watch list. I'm looking to see if I can jump in some shorts around 0.65400. That's where my interest is, slightly higher up. I think, Pavinator, you said 0.6515. Let me drop to the hourly. 515. That's around there somewhere. So back at resistance there. So yeah, I'm looking at a slightly bigger move just because I'm under the impression that we've had a very violent recovery here, and it kind of looks like a big inverse head and shoulder pattern. And this is giving me correction vibes. So I do think there could be one more burst to the upside. I'm also looking at the dollar, the DXY. It looks like that's got another move down as well. Again, this is all anticipation. I'm not saying this as a fact because I don't know what's going to happen. But judging how price is looking, it does look like we could probably see one more push up. But of course, I'm sure you got your reasons for looking to one too short there. So I would suggest if you do take a short there, be prepared if the market does go a bit higher for re-entries, because I'm still very much having the same bias as you. I think we're still both looking for a push at least back to this low. I'm looking to see if we can get there as well. And as long as price doesn't kind of take out this high, or doesn't have like a big violent bullish move, I do think even if you do push a bit higher, we will eventually come back down. So yeah, keep an eye on those areas as well. Of course, if you do have valid reasons for shorting at that particular price, go ahead, do your thing. But I'm looking slightly higher around there for a short. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, but very much looking at the same bias. Very much looking at the same bias. Okay, I'm going to go through my positions quickly. More of a shotgun than a sniper. Yeah, we can take a look at the DAX as well. Soft tuning, no problem. Let me go through my positions quickly. Then we can take a look at the DAX. If I've missed out a pair, let me know. I feel like I have, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, so pound Aussie longs looking okay. Again, we are in a decent amount of profit, so not too worried about the minor fluctuations here. Stop losses has been trailed to break even. Oh, the internet is messing around again, but looks like we're back. Yeah, I think we are. So yeah, pound Aussie looking okay. In move stops the break even. So worst case scenario, price does go back, goes against me. I have taken some partials at this high too. So worst case, it will be a very small win. But I am looking for that bigger move there. I'm looking for that bigger move, so still a long way to go. And then I also jumped into some New Zealand yen longs as well. This is still very early doors. I hopped in on that second last flower candle. Again, more of a swing position, not expecting this to be done overnight, but I am looking to see if I can attack yen weakness, which means I'm very much looking to try and buy the yen pairs. New Zealand yen is probably one of the yen pairs which hasn't got moving yet, and that's primarily because New Zealand has been weak as well, so you kind of got two weak currencies there. But I'm looking to see if I can play the catch-up game, because if this is going to start trending, I want to see if I can be a part of that. I'm looking to see if I can try and catch the next low after this really aggressive move last week. Can we find the continuation of that? I will see if I can have a reattempt down here. If this position doesn't play out, I'll look to see if I can buy again down at that low with the same idea, but yeah, we'll see how this first position does get going. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in terms of my trading, and in terms of the watch list. Euro Aussie longs I'm also looking at, and pound USD and Aussie shorts, and pound yen buys too. But I think those opportunities probably for next week, but I am going to keep a close eye. We'll take a look at the DAX. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing this whole conversation happen. I'm trying to read it, but I'm caught up in my analysis. So I haven't actually seen what's been going on, to be honest. One to the long, so one to the short. I always see people on social media, as soon as you take a position, people always go to my entries where your stop loss is at, which always drives me crazy. We'll take a look at the DAX. So I haven't actually looked at in a while, to be honest. I don't trade the DAX, so I don't really keep up to date with it. But of course, if someone does request it, I will take a look. I mean, still very bullish. Of course, we're getting some signs that we are slowing down. Effectively, we're in this range here. I would still have a bullish bias. Actually, I quite like this zone here. And I would quite like the idea if we could have one more push down and then the buy there. At the very least, you might catch a buy, into this channel, which not anything crazy, but best case scenario, you might catch a swing because we are just about seeing higher highs. You can see there's a high, there's a new high, there's a new high there. There's your low, there's your higher low. Potentially you might be finding another one. This was a pretty powerful move on the way up. And I quite like how corrected this is as well. So I do think we can see a continuation back to resistance there. You're just betting on the trend continuing, you're not looking for anything crazy. And I quite like this zone here just below us. This is where, of course, all that bullish momentum came from. And I quite like we're seeing a lot of wicks here as well, which means support is forming, buyers coming into play. So one will move down just to take out those last bit of buyers, and then we might see the push. Of course, maybe price does make the push here, but you've got more confluence if price can come a little bit deeper. So it would be nice to see the DAX make one more move down, spike into that zone, and then get the buy. And that could be, you position very, very well for a nice swing trade. Something like that. So yeah, pretty bullish on the DAX. I mean, most indices, major indices right now are super, super bullish. So, I mean, after what happened last week, but in general, the trend is still very much pointing up. Yes, we can take a look at dollar yen as well. $412K was account manager. I mean, again, that's what trading is, to be honest. That's what trading is, because it's all about timing, and then everything in between is kind of just noise, really. Because in most things in life, you have to pay like more attention and grind harder, but with trading, it's actually more subtle. It's more just picking your moments, and that's how you become a really good trader, to be honest. Which is a bit frustrating, because I would say it's easier just to be like spending hours and then doing something. Trying to pick your moments, you got to battle your psychology quite a lot there. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, in terms of dollar yen, I think we just resting at support right now. And I'm not too sure price is going to bounce from here or break underneath. Price action is not quite clear. But as I mentioned earlier, if you do have a seller's bias, then I would say if we do push below the low here, then yeah, I would have a short bias and we could see more downside. If not, if we do bounce, then we could be talking about push back to this high. And I would say the catalyst for that would just be a break in that counter trend line. Because we've been super corrective, but we have maintained these lower highs. If I do see evidence that dollar yen is breaking through that, then that to me says, okay, the strength is back in, the buyers are back in, and now we're likely to go and attack the highs again. So you could drop intraday, 15-minute, and find some corrections in between, and those could be opportunities to trade it back into the high. You don't necessarily have to buy the breakout. You can look for some more intricate opportunities in the lower time frames to really maximize risk to reward. But yeah, if we don't do that and we do come crashing back down, then like I said, we'll talk about the sell opportunities. But yeah, I don't really have that bias. So I'm leaning towards weakness on the yen. So I'm also actively trying to buy the yen pairs. Of course, I'm buying New Zealand yen as well. I want to see if I can buy New Zealand yen, buy pound yen, and add that to the list too. The only situation with pound yen is that we're not in a prime area for buy just now. Approaching supply, doesn't really make any sense entering buys here. So see if we have a bit of a pullback or we break structure. Either which way, I'm looking to see if I can buy pound yen. To be honest, Mika, I'm killing it. With the reason, yeah. To be fair, that's really kind of what you embodied. To be fair, Bashi, from the little that I know, especially someone who trades lower time frames. Most people I know who trade lower time frames at least taking a trade a day. So that's why I was quite surprised how infrequently you trade, especially for someone who even drops to the second time frame. Anyone who's trading the second time frame is normally a very active trader. But at the end of the day, you pick good trades. Doesn't matter if you're very active or inactive. If you're taking good trades, you're taking good trades. If you're taking bad trades, you're taking bad trades. And the sum of that, will be your P&L. So if you're going to be active, well, make sure you're taking good trades. If you're going to be inactive, of course, that gives you a bit more flexibility, a bit more time to be a bit more precise. And especially on the low time frames where you get bombarded with so much information and candlesticks, it's very easy to take a load of trades and look back on your day and be like, did I really need to take that position? Did I really need to take that position? Which is one of the main benefits of trading the full hour chart. Is less information. It takes longer to develop, which is probably why I found trading the full hour chart a lot easier than intraday. Yes, Yusuf, we can take a look at the DXY 15 as well. Well, joking, watch a movie quickly and make money in the same time. Very, very true, Matt. Very, very true. But the thing is, I would say you don't want to get complacent, because I've been there before as well, where things are going really good, and then you get complacent, and then you don't really do the background stuff, and then you do get punished. Because the thing is, when you're trading well, it does generally feel like, this is just a process that I repeat. I don't really have to try too hard. But the markets will sense that and it will definitely punish you. So yeah, the thing is, you can watch a movie and make money, but when it's time to trade, you have to make sure you're very focused and you're precise with your actions. And then yeah, you can go and watch a movie. But you don't want to get complacent and then just get on your phone and just take a random trade just because you think you're doing well. I want to keep doing well. Yeah, not the case. You will get punished. Or at least in my case anyway. Okay, we'll go through the DXY and the 15. So yeah, with the dollar, I'm very much looking for a big swing back up again, but I do think we're not quite there yet with the buy. So I'm being a bit patient, but on the 15, I bet things look super, super bearish. And yeah, that is still the case. Look at all these lower highs, all the momentum. Shorts still look really good here. So I'll probably keep an eye more so in this area. Maybe if we can see one more swing to the upside, sweep the high there. Then we probably see a nice short again later this afternoon. So I do think there's a bit more downside to be had for the dollar. I don't think we're quite bottomed out yet, especially looking at the intraday price action, the 15 as well. I'm not seeing any price action that tells me that price is about to turn around just yet. So yeah, from an intraday perspective, I would focus on the shorts. Later on, we can talk more about the buys there, because I do think that's the bigger play. But yeah, 15 minute, it looks like we can see a bit more downside. Maybe if you're a bit more intraday, you might look at some short-term buys there. But from a 50-minute point of view, that's where I see opportunity. No problem, Soft Tuning, happy to help. Francis, no problem, I'll answer to come across you soon. Absolutely. Blame the YouTube algorithm. Blame the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, true, alerts are a lifesaver as well, especially intraday too. Especially intraday, because you can put your alerts on, especially when things are very fast paced. The thing is, I never really used to use alerts on the 4 hour because it just took so long to get there. I normally am free to check the charts. But of course, if things are moving a bit quicker, alerts, unless you're going to watch the charts all day, alerts will definitely help you in that department. Of course, yeah. There'll be many opportunities, but you want to take the best of them. No way, I was answering a viewer's question, you missed one, wow. Well, the thing is, you don't need to take every good trade either. Of course, you want to take them all, but you don't need to take every good trade because you don't want to be in a situation where you're kind of kicking yourself. Especially when you decide to stream too, because that's on you. There's been times where I've missed trades too because I've been caught up doing something too. But yeah, with the 1 minute chart, you get a lot of opportunities. You want to take the best of them. Even if you take one good trade a week, you're probably still going to make very healthy returns as well. So you don't need to be taking every single good trade. But yeah, you want to take as much as possible. Hopped into Euro Aussie buy. How is Euro Aussie doing? Yeah, I'm not quite convinced just yet for the buy. Higher time frames, I'm sold. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm very convinced with the buys. Intraday, I can see maybe another push lower to take out this low. And then I'll see what happens after that. If we sweep the low, maybe leave a nice wick and then recover and see really aggressive bullish momentum, I'll jump in as well. If it's kind of slow or we see momentum pick up for whatever reason, then I'm going to be a bit more patient. But like I said, as long as price doesn't take out this low here, which is all the way down there, I'm going to retain that bullish bias and be actively looking to try and buy Euro Aussie. So if this zone doesn't do its job, I'll look at this zone and so on and so forth. The only reason why I'm being a bit more skeptical as well with Euro Aussie is because of where we're trading. Price kind of is at resistance here. This was a pretty big level which gave us a pretty big move down. So I'm going to be a bit sensible buying at this level. Maybe price wants to react first before it does continue higher. So I'm kind of anticipating that a little bit. But at the end of the day, we've seen really aggressive momentum step in, and I'm betting on that continuing. So I do think this level will break. It's just making sure I maneuver myself correctly around that. But yeah, I might get the shorts later today. I'm going to keep an eye. I think I probably will use the 15. I said earlier I wasn't going to use the 15, but I think the 15 is probably the right time frame. I might use the 30, one of the two. Gold got break even, wanted to double down on that. What's gold doing? Is it still dancing at highs? No, it looks pretty bullish here. Look, you already got that 5 minute opportunity we spoke about earlier. I mean, that's not even 5 minutes, that's 1 minute. I just spoke about the retest of this level that we might continue. But yeah, that would be a 1 minute trade. But yeah, gold's looking pretty bullish again, just swept the highs. Looks like 42.50 is calling gold's name right now. And then you got 4,300 above that. But again, like I said, with the shorts on gold, nothing wrong necessarily going short on gold. You know, everyone says follow the trend, and I'm a big advocate of that as well. But if you are going to go against the trend, you just have to make sure you manage that trade accordingly. Which means if momentum steps back in, be prepared to skedaddle, and don't try and look for the big move. You can, but you have measurements to protect yourself, because the odds are price does continue higher. So it's always going to be a bit difficult to take the short. Your Aussie, nice idea. Yeah, appreciate it. I mean, again, especially with the higher time frames too, because momentum looks pretty good higher time frames too. So I'm betting on this trend continuing, and I quite like how we had this last sell and an aggressive buy. Came back into a nice area, and I do think there's a good chance price makes a move back to resistance. I'm looking at a very similar move on pound Aussie, which gave me the setup yesterday. A very violent move on Friday last week as well. Price came back above this low here. Now I'm betting on a push back to resistance. So I'm going to see if I can take advantage of both of them, because the chances are if pound Aussie does get back to the high, Euro Aussie probably does get back to the high as well. They might go at different speeds and whatnot, but they're very correlated markets, so they'll probably do the same thing. Because this is already break even, there's no risk on the table. You know, I can still take advantage of Euro Aussie as well without, overexpose myself to the same kind of move. So yeah, we'll see if Euro Aussie can give a nice entry too, and I'll look for a similar trade. Is Euro Aussie pullback corrective? No, not really. Actually, good point, Yusuf. I would like it to be a bit more corrective, but we have started to slow down here, which is why I'm starting to like it a little bit more. This was quite violent here, so that makes me a bit more cautious. But now that we're slowing down a little bit and seeing a bit of an up move, I like it. And now we're seeing a bit of we're quite slow as well here. So if you can stay nice and corrective and then see some strength, I don't mind hopping into that. Or if we kind of bleed further, I don't mind doing something like that either. So initially, no, it wasn't as corrective as I wanted it to be, but it's starting to get there. So I like that. Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, I do think I'll probably get a trade later today, if not tomorrow. I mean, worst case scenario, it forms during the Asian session, which I could see happening, and then I miss the trade. But I'm ready in pound Aussie, so it won't be too hard feelings. But yeah, I've already missed one trade this week because of the Asian session. I don't want to miss two. But anyway, guys, yeah, going to see how the New Zealand yen and the Aussie yen does continue. I will be live again later today on Trader Nick's channel, so I'll do kind of a quick recap there. And we also see how price reacts to the news later, and of course with the pound Aussie position. I might get into the Euro Aussie by that time, so I'll update you guys there as well if I do. And then I quite like what I'm seeing with pound USD shorts. Again, way too early to be jumping to anything there, but it definitely has caught my attention. And likewise with Aussie dollar as well, definitely has caught my attention. I do think a bit more downside is likely to come into play. I appreciate it, Bashi. Yeah, guys, if you have joined the stream, drop a like, subscribe, all of that stuff does really help out. Hit the bell too so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Really does help out. Last question, Yusuf. Where would you trade stop loss if you bought at 35.40? So I'm guessing you bought at 35.40. Okay, so if I bought at 35.40, wait, what? 35.40? You mean all the way down here? I mean, if I bought there, it depends on my intentions really, because I can be a lot more aggressive, or I could be a lot more conservative. If I was aggressive, I'd probably be trailed out by now. I might have been trailed out by like maybe this move here. probably would have put a stop loss underneath the low there. So I probably would have been trailed out. If I was being very conservative, with to have like the plan that gold can rip to like 5, 6, 7K in the next few years, and I want to kind of just sit because I'm well placed, then I'll be very, very relaxed and kind of just trading like this, to be honest. But this is like a position trade. You're not so concerned about minor fluctuations. You're more so, can I get it to the big price targets? But yeah, if I was still in the trades miraculously, then yeah, I might be underneath this low here, around 40.80. But yeah, impressive if you got a buy position from there. So yeah, maybe 40.80. Anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, I probably will be late, probably be live later today on Trading Nick's channel. If not, then of course I'll be live on my channel as always tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So I hope to see you all there. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Drop a like before you do leave. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. Check out the memberships if you do want access to more content. Members only videos, trade ideas as well. Check it out if you are interested. But I hope to see you all tomorrow. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next stream.
Six AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAUUSD, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI